and welcome to another maintenance-heavy edition of Ben's Junk. So, I believe 2 installments ago, I covered an alignment tool put out by Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs to use on your cassette deck, namely the Geo-Tape. And in that video, I mentioned that the Geo-Tape was an offshoot of another Mobile Fidelity product, and that would be the Geo-Disc, which of course is to align turntable cartridges. So, covering this only seemed natural. Now, as far as I know, this was the first major commercial aftermarket product designed to help people adjust their cartridges/styli. And I believe these things were introduced around 1979 or 80. For what it's worth, mine carries a 1981 date. But these things were also packaged with some of the major Mobile Fidelity boxed sets, like the Beatles set that they had out at one point. And unlike the Geo-Tape, these are, as of 2017 at least, still on the market at $50 a pop. And I thought that was a little steep for basically a protractor. So I held out as long as I could for the best deal, and the best that I was able to swing was this old one for $30. And I think this is one of the ones that came with one of those Beatles or maybe the Sinatra box or something. I guess these things hold their value, don't they? And my understanding is the design of these things have never changed. So it doesn't matter if you buy a new one or if you just find an old one. Now, it shouldn't come as any surprise to anyone that this will be my first attempt at using one of these, so hilarity could very well ensue. And before I begin, my understanding is that this is supposed to happen as follows. So the stylus should be clean, and the most basic method I've seen on cleaning a stylus is to tap it, not drag it, but tap it on a dry, plain, chemical-free Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. And I've already done it on this one, and it came up clean, and I'm sure nothing is showing in the shot. And I guess I'd already been doing a decent job. And then you're supposed to have the screws on the cartridge loosened a bit, so I think I'm going to start with half a turn loose and go from there. I could be totally off. And then the Geo-Disc is supposed to be aimed in such a way that you can land your stylus in this little white and not quite hole on this grid. And then you're supposed to tape the Geo-Disc down. So I just brought some plain old Scotch tape to do that. And then you're supposed to eyeball the cartridge, in position and twist it around so that looking straight down, it lines up within the grid. And of course, the needle lands center and straight in the not quite hole. And then, of course, you tighten the screws back up, maybe recheck your work, and then you test. So, barring any unforeseen issues, this is actually all the talking I intend to do this time out. So let's take a cut. I'll give this a shot, and I'll talk to you again, at least soon.